Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, and please welcome our Oroville Community Concert Band. Well, good evening and welcome to our concert appropriately called Swing into Spring. Before we dive too deep into our program tonight, if you were in the lobby earlier, you were fortunate enough to hear the group Exit Route. This ensemble is made up of entirely of Butte College students, And at this time, we'd like to give them a hand for not only playing so well, but also helping us with our show this evening. Tonight, the band will be performing a variety of jazz music, either written or arranged for a concert band. They'll also be playing a few songs of a different style that have a clear jazz influence. Our first number, as certainly most of you knew, was In the Mood, and it featured Claire Lawson on alto sax, Johnny Davis on tenor sax, and Bob Christensen on trumpet. This song was the biggest selling record for Glenn Miller. When the Glenn Miller Band first rehearsed this number, several members expressed displeasure with the song, with one of them even calling it a dog. Miller stuck to his guns, and besides being a hit record, this piece has also been installed into the Grammy Hall of Fame and the Library of Congress. And to top it off, in 1999, National Public Radio included the 1939 Glenn Miller recording in its list of the top 100 most important American musical works of the 20th century. Our second number takes us back to the roots of jazz. Ragtime originated in African American communities in the late 19th century and was propelled to popularity in the 1890s and 1910s by such composers as James Scott, Joseph Lamb, and particularly Scott Joplin. It earned the name ragtime due to its syncopated style of playing, which was called by many as ragged. This piece, called Rag, was written by Robert W. Smith and is in the third piece of his American Dance Trilogy, featuring Jonathan Quine on trumpet, Laurel Ferretti on piccolo, and Yassi Heron on the xylophone. Please enjoy Rag. piece takes us back to New Orleans, or Nolans, in the early 1900s. Dixieland jazz was an up-tempo style played by a small ensemble of usually 4 to 5 members. It involved a lot of improvisation and is considered by some to be the purest form of jazz. The culture of Nolans, we have friends who live there, and he corrects me every time I see New Orleans, so I'm trying to be culturally appropriate. So the culture of that city in Louisiana was somewhat different when it involved the passing of a person. On the way to the cemetery, the band would play a slow dirge in mourning of the person's death. But afterwards, they would play exciting up-tempo numbers as the community celebrated the life of the recently deceased. This song, called At a Dixieland Jazz Funeral, uses the numbers Just a Closer Walk with Thee and When the Saints Go Marching In to recreate the feel of that early 20th century funeral. Featuring Pam Wickline on clarinet, Jonathan Quine on trumpet, Bill Eslick on trombone, and Matty Beeman on tuba, and a little bit of singing from the band. We hope you enjoy this trip to the past. The jitterbug is a style of swing dancing that began in the 1930s and developed out of another dance called the Lindy Hop. The term jitterbug was coined by black dancers who thought the white dancers were dancing the Lindy Hop too fast, and they looked like they were all jittery. Well, the term soon lost its negative connotation and became a dance style that remained popular for about 3 decades. Elvis Presley listed the jitterbug, along with the twist and the cha-cha, as the only 3 types of dances that you could play. Featuring Bob Christensen on trumpet, here is an original piece simply entitled Jitterbug. 1924, an original composition for solo piano and jazz band was commissioned by band leader Paul Whiteman. The composer, George Gershwin, responded with Rhapsody in Blue, a work to combine classical music with elements of jazz. This piece became one of Gershwin's most recognizable numbers and a defining moment of the jazz era. Written in only 5 weeks, the piece was an immediate hit with the public, but received mixed reviews from the critics of the day, proving once again, those who can do, those who can't critique. It's now played hundreds, if not thousands of times a year worldwide, and one of the most impressive performances was at the opening ceremony of the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, when 84 pianists played Rhapsody in Blue simultaneously. The band is playing a shorter version tonight, and they don't have a solo pianist, but it's still a great piece of music, featuring Jonathan Quine on trumpet and Pam Wickline on clarinet. Here is excerpts from Rhapsody in Blue. intermission, we have a couple of announcements regarding our annual July 4th of July performance. It used to be that the Oroville Community Concert Band was the only local group that held a concert on Independence Day, performing both on July 3rd and on July 4th. But times have changed, and now other community groups have begun to hold concerts on the 4th. Since we live in a rural community, several of our members also perform with those other local groups. Last year, it became a bit of a logistical nightmare as some of our performers finished a show in Chico, drove to Oroville, changed shirts, and walked on the stage with a couple of minutes to spare. After that, some of them drove up to Paradise to play in yet another show up there. So to help resolve this new problem, the concert band has decided that they will perform on the evening of July 3rd, and there'll be more information as we get closer to that. The good news is that this year is obviously the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, and to help with the celebration, they are attempting to bring back the community chorus for the July 3rd performance. Rehearsals are scheduled to begin on Monday, April 13th at the Oroville High School Music Room. The practice will run from 6 to 8 p.m. and they're looking for people who like to sing and can help them out. There is a sign-up sheet in the lobby if you're interested in singing and signing somewhere else besides your shower. Now is your chance. Also, if you'd like to pick up a flyer, this is also available out there at the table in the lobby. Take it with you if you know someone who would like to join us. We'd love to have them part of the celebration. So the other celebration that we're looking forward to comes next month here at the State Theater. As you know, the State Theater Arts Guild Stage owns and operates this theater, and we depend on the support of local community members like yourselves who can help us meet the ongoing expenses of running a theater that is next month 98 years old. So yes, and in really fine form too. So next month we have Sunday, April 26th, we have a silent movie accompanied with our Wurlitzer organ. That's going to be on Sunday, April 26th at 2 o'clock, featuring Buster Keaton and a couple of other great silent films. It'll be here at, again, 2 o'clock on April 26th. Silent movies and Dave Moreno on the Wurlitzer organ. And after that, there is a black and white gala across the street at the Union Coffee Club. And they'll have live music and 1920s attire, live auction, and local legends portraits on display. So that's going on. Now, I'm president of the State Theater Arts Guild. I'm just the pretty face of the organization. I won't be there for the April 26th celebration. My wife and I are celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary that weekend. The applause really belongs to her. So I won't be here, she won't be here, but there's no excuse why you folks can't be here. Sunday, April 26th at 2 o'clock, silent movies featuring the Wurlitzer organ. It'll be a fun afternoon, so we hope to see you there. And now we're going to take a break for about 15 minutes, we think, unless it goes longer. 15 minutes for intermission, so we'll see you back in a few minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. No concert about jazz would be complete without the playing of music from Louis Armstrong, the ambassador of jazz. Armstrong also had another nickname in his youth, Satchel Mouth, and that was given to him by an alleged friend. That was eventually shortened to Satchmo, which is the title of our next number. It's hard to describe the influence Armstrong had on music. It's easy to say that he did it all, and he did it well. His 1964 album, Hello, Dolly, went to #1 on the charts, knocking the Beatles out of first place. He would win the Grammy for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance for the single of the same name. Besides Hello, Dolly, you'll also hear some other familiar tunes in this piece, such as When the Saints Go Marching In and What a Wonderful World. Soloists on this number include Sidney Dixon on clarinet, Bob Christensen, and Jonathan Quine on trumpet, Bill Eslick on trombone, and Matty Beeman on tuba. Here is Satchmo. say thank you to Kathy, who's running sound and lights tonight. Woodrow Charles Herman was an American jazz clarinetist, saxophonist, singer, and big band leader. Leading groups called The Herd, Herman came to prominence in the late 1930s and was active until his death in 1987. His bands often played music that was cutting edge and experimental. Their recordings received numerous Grammy nominations with 3 wins, plus a Lifetime Achievement Award for Herman. The piece you're about to hear is quite a challenge for our band, as it's not your typical big band music. When we say Woody Herman was cutting edge, we're not joking. Featuring Sidney Dixon on clarinet, Claire Lawson on alto sax, our entire saxophone section, and a little more singing from the band, here is Woody Herman in concert. Misty is a jazz standard written and originally recorded in 1954 by pianist Errol Garner. He composed it as an instrumental in the traditional 32-bar format and recorded it on July 27, 1954. It's a jazz standard that has been recorded by many artists over the years and was featured in the 1971 Clint Eastwood film, Play Misty for Me. It doesn't end well for the woman in the movie, if you haven't seen it. Anyway, one of the more unique versions of this song was, believe it or not, an up-tempo country version recorded in 1975 by Ray Stevens. That effort actually won a Grammy for Music Arrangement of the Year. Well, now featuring Johnny Davis on tenor saxophone, please enjoy Misty. Bebop, or bop, is a style of jazz developed in the early 1940s here in the United States. It's characterized by a fast tempo and complex chord progressions. Bebop developed as the younger generation of jazz musicians expanded the creative possibilities of jazz beyond the popular dance-oriented swing style. Bebop was not for dancing, it was actually meant to show off the improvisational and technical skills of the performers. In the late 1930s, the Duke Ellington Orchestra began exposing the world to harmonically sophisticated musical arrangements, and other young jazz musicians, such as Charlie Bird Parker and Miles Davis, were listening. Our next number includes Boplicity by Miles Davis, Round Midnight by Thelonious Monk, and In a Mellow Tone by Duke Ellington. Pam Wickline and Steve Margolin will handle the solos in this number titled Legends of Jazz. 1930s and 40s, band leader Bob Wills and his band, the Texas Playboys, began mixing some swing music with traditional country instruments, and Western swing was born. Many youngsters in the South grew up not only listening to this style of music, but also to the blues as well. In the 1950s, they would combine these two styles into what would become known as rockabilly, and rock and roll style with definite jazz influences. One of the most famous examples of this style of music was the number that legendary rock and roll producer Sam Phillips called an anthem. So here is our band's version of the Carl Perkins hit, Blue Suede Shoes. Jazz fusion, also known as jazz rock fusion, or simply fusion, is a popular music genre that developed in the late 1960s when musicians combined jazz harmony and improvisation with rock music, funk, and rhythm and blues. Electric guitars, basses, amplifiers, keyboard instruments, including electric pianos and organs that were popular in rock, began to be used by jazz musicians, particularly those who had grown up listening to rock and roll. The song Birdland was written in 1977 and performed by the fusion group Weather Report. Many of you might be familiar with the Grammy-winning vocal version released later by the group Manhattan Transfer. The piece was named after a jazz club in New York named Birdland, where many prominent jazz musicians would play over the years. This piece became an instant favorite and was played countless times by high school and college jazz bands all over the country. Tonight's version features a short solo section by Johnny Davis on tenor sax, and we'd like to inform the audience that their participation will be required toward the end of this number. So stay tuned. Don't worry, our director, Bob, will let you know, and Bob also is the arranger of this piece. Here is Birdland. a great audience. We really appreciate you being here tonight. One more round of applause for these folks. And a reminder of the April 26th, 98th anniversary of our beautiful theater. Again, the theater depends entirely on your support, and there are applications in the lobby to join the State Theater Arts Guild. And remember to also pick up a flyer if you're interested in singing on the 3rd of July for the Independence Day concert. And as always, we like to close every concert with what we call a benediction. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Good night.